Hi, this is Kim Wallach. In answer to a challenge from Eileen Vance, and also in an effort to preserve the songs of Bob Blue, here's a song that was kind of a collaboration between Bob and myself, in that I had a friend who worked at Planned Parenthood, and one day she told me a story about a woman who'd been picketing against abortion, bringing in her daughter and forcing her daughter to have an abortion against her will. I told that story to Bob. The next day, most of this song was on my answering machine. Bob was a genius at giving people names and character and letting you really see into their hearts. So this is Freedom to Choose. In a clinic on Main Street in Washingtonville, lost in thought by a window, stood Mary McGill. When her eyes met the eyes of a woman outside, was it rain on her glasses or tears she had cried? Outside on the picket line, Rosemary Flynn felt the rain on her face and the anger within, as she stared at that face inside, gentle and warm, that seemed almost to beckon her in from the storm. And the two women found themselves staring a while, recognition, awareness, but never a smile. And there seemed to be some kind of truce in that stare, until Rosemary Flynn recalled why she was there. Then she held up her sign that said, "Thou shalt not kill," and she pointed directly at Mary McGill. And Mary McGill, before starting to turn, gave a nod to acknowledge Rosemary's concern. That day, Mary counseled a child named Michelle, who tried hard to seem calm in her personal hell. Mary spoke to Michelle in the tones of a friend, and her gentleness brought Michelle's calm to an end. Michelle told her story with pain hard to hide, of her mother and John and the new life inside. She had meant to show love, she had meant no one harm, but her mother felt anger and John felt alarm. But the new life inside was a life, it was real, with a brain and a heartbeat she wanted to feel. And she wanted that child, she would love it so well, she would build it a heaven to make up for this hell. But she'd end the new life for her mother and John. "I'll do it," Michelle said, "for my mother and John." These words had an emptiness Mary saw through. "If you do it," said Mary, "please do it for you." Michelle looked at Mary through the pain and the tears, and Mary saw all of Michelle's 16 years. And she thought she saw something of several years more, or perhaps she had seen Michelle's face once before. Michelle only murmured the words, "I don't know," and she stood and she turned and she started to go, when Mary made one last request of Michelle, with her parting words, "Take time to think this out well." That night, Michelle's mother stormed into the place, not hiding her anger, yet hiding her face. "My daughter came here with a purpose," she said, "not to have you put foolish ideas in her head. She's too young, just a girl, and the father's a boy, and she thinks that a baby is some kind of toy. Your job was to teach her, to straighten her out, not confuse her and send her home riddled with doubt." My job, explained Mary, was not to confuse, but to make her aware of her freedom to choose. My job is to make sure the options are known. You are right, she is young, but her life is her own. Then Mary saw something in this woman's face and remembered the person, the time, and the place. This woman had labeled abortion a sin, the face on the picket line, Rosemary Flynn. People often accuse and are quick to condemn when the issue is safe or does not affect them. I don't envy the job facing Mary McGill. I don't know all the meanings of thou shalt not kill. It's a conflict more simply prevented than solved, but the choice must belong to the woman involved. And I think that the answers come not from above, but from us and our consciences, tempered with love. Freedom to choose.